Hi guys, with the latest firmware update for the Eversolo A8 and built into the A10, we now have the Eversolo Room Correction functionality. And in this video, I will give a step-by-step on how you can set this up. When we use the calibrated microphone, we will get more accurate results. We will need a calibrated microphone like the Umik one or the Eversolo EM-01. Support me by purchasing the microphone in the affiliate link in the description below. We also need a USB cable that is long enough to connect between the microphone and the Eversolo, a USB stick and a tripod. This is how the microphone will be connected to your setup. Next, we need to download the mic calibration file. For this microphone, we go to MiniDSP website. Go under Products, Umik 1. If you scroll below, there's a box for you to key in the serial number. And this serial number is located on the microphone itself or on the box of the microphone. Submit, and you can retrieve the calibrated file from the website. So there are two files here. One is a regular calibration file, where it's based on the microphone facing to the speakers, and a 90-degree calibration file where the microphone is facing 90 degrees, facing up, and this is actually used more for home theater applications. Do remember where you save this file. And this file is actually based on each microphone is slightly different, and they were calibrated in the factory, and the deviations are actually stored in this text file. If you are using the Eversolo EM-01 microphone, scan the QR code on the packaging for the calibration file. Okay, there are two USB connections at the back of the Eversolo A8. So for the microphone, you connect to the one on top. Okay, so for the mic calibration file, you put in the thumb drive and then put to the USB connection on the bottom. Okay, good to go. Okay guys, so now that you have plugged in the microphone as well as the thumb drive with the calibration file, go to the home screen on your Eversolo. First thing to do is actually to set up your DSP. Okay, so go to DSP, press on the plus button here, and then create your configuration. So I like to do two different configurations. So the first one will be full range. I'll just name it as such. Okay, and I'll add the second one called low frequency. Okay, low. Okay, so after this, I'll go back to the home screen, and what you can do is add a widget for the room correction. So the widget for the room correction is under My Apps. Click here, and it's under Room Correction. Click on it, and it should appear on your home page. Okay, you can see it over here, or you can also access it from the apps. So if you click on Apps, you will see your Room Correction app over here. Okay, so for ease of use, I put it onto the home screen so you can access easily. So now we have already saved the configuration files. Go to Room Correction. Okay, so from here you can see it has already detected that I have the MiniDSP Umik 1 in the microphone selection. So, and it's the only one, so I can see here, right? And it will ask for the microphone calibration file. If you have none, you can just leave it. But since we have it to get the most accurate reading, so I go to Choose File, go to the location where I have stored the mic calibration file over here. So this one, okay. So you can see that the mic calibration file is already stored. Okay, go to next. Okay, so in the next step, this is where we do the calibration for the sound level. Okay, so we want to make sure that it's not too soft, where we pick up a lot of background noises, and you don't want to be too loud where the system starts to clip. So there are there's a range here which is between minus 60 decibels and minus 20 decibels. So you try to get it between halfway, around minus 40 to a bit more than this. Okay. So before you start, make sure that your listening area is quiet, the windows are closed, there's no noisy equipment like your, I don't know, your washing machine, etc. that may actually affect your readings. Okay. So do note that it can be a bit loud. So let's start. So you can adjust the reading. So if let's say I have a low reading here, so you just turn your volume knob. See where you are. So a bit more. So this is right where you are. Stop. Alright, so now we have already calibrated the level for the microphone. Okay, so this is where we do the acoustic measurements for the left and right speaker. So there is an option to do combined measurement, but it's best to do them one by one separately. Okay, so click on this and you do the measurement. Okay, so the system has already measured and is now doing some processing. Let's wait for a few seconds. Okay, so this is the amplitude measurement against the frequency. Okay, so this is the result for the left and right. So they are both in dark gray. So now click on the start design. This is where we start to do the filter design. So by default, it starts with a flat curve, and our target for this time will be the flat curve as well. So we have the option of toggling the results for the left channel and right channel separately if we want. You can see the picture on the left and right is as if it's the eye when it's open and closed, so you can see the figures. Okay. So what we would like to do here is to, if you're not satisfied with the measurement, you can always press measure again. You go back to the previous screen where you do the measurement. So assuming you are happy with the measurement, you can go to filter settings, which is on the top right here. Okay. So there are a few options for the filter setting. So the first one is the target curve. So there's the option for BK and flat. I would suggest to just leave it flat. Okay. And then for smooth left and smooth right, the default setting is 112 smoothing. I think that's fine. So you can just leave it there. Frequency range is the option here. So by default, you have between 20 Hertz and 20 kilohertz. And for the full range measurement, we want to leave it at this. So if you want to adjust later, I'll show you how to adjust. Okay. Maximum gain. So maximum gain is actually a safety feature where you don't want to have too much gain, because this is where the systems compensate for the dips in the frequency by boosting the gain of that particular frequency. So if you put too much, you actually put the risk of clipping on your speakers and damaging your speakers. So usually the maximum is 5. You can adjust this how you want it. Okay. So we just leave this as 5 for now. Okay. And lastly, we have the target gain. So this is automatically calculated based on the volume measured from the system just now. Okay. Press confirm. Okay, so now we have the filter design for left and right speakers with the target curve that is flat. Right? So one thing that we can do is actually export these readings to a file, then we can save it for future use. So you can press export. So you can choose a folder where you want to save this. So we can put this, let's say for example, we keep it under filters. Okay. Export. Okay. Next, we want to apply the configuration. So for the first option we have is no filters, which I've saved. Second is actually the full range, which we are actually doing now. So we can choose on this one. Yes, so we want to apply to the current FIR configuration. Yes. So we have already done the first set of filters for full range. So secondly, what we can do is do a second set of filters for only the bass. So usually the bass are the ones where they have the most problem areas. So you try to keep the characteristic of your speakers and try to just address the bass problems that your room may have. So you go back to the filter setting and then you adjust from your frequency range. So from here, let's say we adjust the adjustment range from 20 to 300 Hertz. Okay, so we are only targeting the bass regions for this adjustment. Everything else remains the same. Okay, so you can so you can see here that the bass is area here is being adjusted, whereas the rest of the frequencies above it, they are not being touched at all by the DSP. Okay, so do try it out and see what kind of sound you like. Okay, so but we've saved both, and then go to here, go to save it under the low frequency filter. All right. Okay, so now we've finished this. All right, so next thing what you want to do is go to DSP. So we have the two options here that we've already saved. So we go to the full range first. All right, so you can see the FIR filter is already inside, saved here. So you can see for the left channel as well as the right channel. So again, you can toggle if you want to do separately for the different channels. But for now, we'll just leave them both here. Okay. And this is setting for two different channels at the same time. So if you want to adjust your PEQ for the left and right channel separately, if your room is imbalanced, for example, one side is open and it's a bit lopsided, you might want to choose this independent EQ where you can adjust the PEQ for the left and right channel separately. Okay, if you choose to do this, so we can do the first PEQ. So by default, it's giving you a flat reading. So if your option is to have a flat target, you just leave this as flat. So, but a lot of people actually prefer to have more bass level, and this is something like what they call the Harman Curve as well. So in order to create this curve, you need to adjust on the PEQ. So what I would suggest is to do the manual PEQ. Okay, so this is some of the settings which I'll share on the screen. So we adjust based on 28 Hertz. Gain you can put around 4 decibels. Okay, and Q you adjust to 0.3. Okay, so this is for the bass curve. Okay, so you can even adjust a bit more how you like it. You can play around with this and even do this on the phone. Okay, so next thing is there's for the Harman Curve, there's a slight slope on the mid to treble area. So you can adjust from here. You can do a negative gain. Okay, so this one, let's say minus 1.2. Okay, and the Q go to 0.1. Oops, sorry. 0.15. Okay, all right. So basically this is close to the Harman Curve, but of course you can adjust the different levels to your own preference. Okay, so this is something that we've done for the left side. So if you want to adjust them separately, you got to do to the right side, or you can press on this copy from the left channel. Okay, you can synchronize from the left channel. Okay, or you want to do them both together, you just do one here. Okay, so there are some built-in PEQs from Eversolo's latest firmware, so you can have the option of this different ones, but I'm not a big fan of this, so I'll just skip this part. Okay, so now we have the PEQ setting, And so what we want to do is make sure we turn on if you want to use the PEQ, and these FIR filters, they are already on. Okay. Okay, next thing to do is not to forget is we got the option of configuring the DSP for different inputs. Okay, so for example, the internal player, we want to use the filter that we had. So you got to select on, and then you got to choose the filter. So let's say for the internal player, I want to have a full range adjustment. And then for example, the TV, sometimes TV you want to make it more clearer for the human voices. You can adjust the PEQ according to your like, and save according to your different configuration and requirement. Okay. So just now we had the low frequency filter, you can see here. So again, we can have the same targets that we did just now. So we go back. So let's say we do the adjustment here. Okay, so for this one is only supposed to adjust the bass region. So we can check out the FIR filters again. So you can see it only adjusts the bass, and after that it is flat. Okay. Again, so let's say, okay, so we've already configured this one for the internal player. And of course, this can be swapped as you play music. You can also adjust this from the screen or from the app. So it's very versatile. Okay, now that we've set up the FIR filters and the PEQ, so you can, let's say we want to play a music. So let's say we go to this one. Okay, so important, if you want to turn on the DSP, you can choose on here what is the option we want. So like for example, the DSP is on, or we can toggle it off. Okay, on and off. So just remember, when you have on, the DSP gain actually drops by -5. So this is actually a safety feature to make sure that we don't accidentally play the system too loud. Okay, so if you want to change to low frequency filter, you can also do that. You can play around with this. Okay, so when you play the music, you can also toggle on and off however you want it. Okay. So my thoughts about this Eversolo live correction feature, I think it is very useful if you are worried about the very complicating REW system. I have a separate video tutorial on how to use REW to adjust the Eversolo. I would say a few things to note about this. Eversolo Room Correction. First thing, it is only on the amplitude domain. There is no adjustment on the time domain. You can not compare it with most complicating systems like DRAC. But this is I think it's a very useful tool if you have bass problems and something that you like to address some of it. Of course, try to adjust your speaker settings, your speaker positioning before trying all these things. Okay, the other thing that is noted is that the PEQ, the FIR doesn't really adjust from, say, about 30 Hertz onwards. So there may be some limitation on the system here. So it's something that we need to investigate, and why it's not an adjustment on this. Okay, so for the REW system, I would say it's far more versatile compared to what you're having here. If you use the REW, you can check at the same time, using the same measurement, you can check your room's RT60 measurements. Then you know where are the room problems that you have. Okay, where are the peaks, and what are the decay time that you have for your room. And secondly, you have also the waterfall graphs, which you can actually understand the room characteristics. So your room is actually one of the most, if not the most important things for your hi-fi system. So that is actually a really useful tool. And thirdly, I would say the screen, because with the REW you can read it from your laptop, whereas for this, it's a really small screen. It's hard to tell which frequency you're actually having the peak, so it's very difficult if you want to do some adjustments. So from REW you can actually get more detailed and accurate readings, which are the problematic area, and you can actually address them according to those problem areas. So with this graph, it's a little bit hard to read and hard to determine the frequency that you're having issues. Yeah. Okay, so thank you for watching. So the other part, I'll be showing you how to use the mobile app to do the room correction. Okay, leave me a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Thank you. The second method uses the microphone that's built into your phone. It's easier to set up, but it's less accurate. Okay, if you don't have the calibrated mic and you like to use the built-in microphone on your phone, you can also use the room correction system on your phone using the app and the microphone built into the phone. Okay, first thing you'd like to do is press plus and add the room correction widget here. Okay, so room correction is already inside. Next thing is to set up DSP and create filters. So first one, you can do full range. Okay, and second one, you do low frequency. Oops. Okay, so we have set up two here. So now we go back, go to room correction. So two options here. I have the Umik one, it's already configured, it's inside here. So, and again, if you have the Umik one, do use it because it's a far more accurate microphone with a bigger dynamic range. And you can load the file, which is either two options. One is on the device or on the phone. So mine is on the thumb drive into the device. So I can click here. Alright, so I've selected. Okay, so this step will be the microphone selection. So for this exercise, I will show you how to use your phone instead. So you have the option of using the mobile phone microphone here. Okay, so for mobile phone microphone, there are no options for calibration file. So you press next. So this is where you position this phone onto where your listening position is. So do note that the bottom of the phone is usually where the mic is. So put this where you will usually have your ears during the listening. Okay, so next thing is to play the sound. So we gotta adjust it so the reading is between these two. Okay. So next we do the measurement for the left and right signals. Okay, the system has generated a left and right measurement curve. So if you want to measure again, press below, and if you want to design the FRR filter, do it now here. Okay, so from this you can toggle the readings left and right, and we can do the filter settings. So the target we should set as flat, So for the smoothing, 112 smoothing works fine. So you set that for left and right. So frequency range, this is the adjustment frequency that you like. So if you want to do a full range, you got to adjust, leave it as 20 to 20,000. So if you want to adjust only bass region, so you can limit down to say 300 or 250, depends on your requirement. Okay. Okay, for this measurement, we are doing only the full range. So maximum gain, you can leave it as 5, and this target gain is automatically calculated from the system, so you just leave it, okay? So we go back. Okay, so we have done the full range filter configuration. Now we need to apply this. Okay, so if you want to adjust only for low frequency, so you go to filter design, you click on the frequency that we have just now. So let's say we adjust down from 20 to 300 Hertz. Okay, so you apply. So it's doing the, you can see it's only adjusting for the 300 Hertz. So you apply this to the filter that we've adjusted. Okay. Okay, so we've done the two filters. So let us exit. So we can go to DSP to check. No. Okay, so we go to the first one was the full range, so you can see the FRR filter that was created. Okay. And for parametric EQ, it is flat. So if you want to make adjustment from this, you can. So I would recommend that we not have the flat curve. You should have a higher bass level and slight slope on the treble. Okay, that is closer towards the Harman curve. So we can adjust this, so you can, if you want to make closer to the Harman curve, you put the gain as around 4 for the bass. Okay, and then the Q level will be around 0.2. Okay, and then for the treble, you can do a negative gain, so you can do minus 1.2. Okay, and the Q is 0.1. Okay, so this is in a way slightly close to the Harman curve that we have. Okay, all right. Okay, so we have to remember to click on the apply here. Okay, so next thing is we have done the full frequency one, so let's do the one for the low frequency. So same thing, we can adjust the parametric EQ here. Okay, so this one is not so important to adjust the high frequency, sorry. Okay, all right, so we click on, and okay, so now it's also very important to select which are the sources that you would like to have this DSP applied. So for example, you want your internal player, means your streamer, etc., to have this. So click on toggle this switch here and choose which one you want. So let's say, for example, you want full range. Okay, so therefore all the music that comes up from your player, from your internal player, so the like streaming, your internet radio, etc., will be having this setting. Okay, so this is also useful if you want to set different DSP, different filters based on your different settings, because sometimes you want to have your TV adjusted, for example, to have clearer dialogue, or your certain equipment with, for example, less bass, you want to adjust more, etc. Okay, you can adjust them independently. So that is one of the cool features that we have here. Okay, so if you want to play your music with this, so let's say for example this, so it's already having the orange button here, DSP, so it means the DSP is on for this. So if during playing you want to try out the different DSP settings, you can press here, then you can toggle. Okay, you can switch between this one just using only low frequency. Okay, then you see how you like the sound. Okay, then choose what you like, or even switch it off completely, it's up to you, or make the adjustments on the PEQ as you like. So there's this streamer is extremely versatile, and you can basically tune to however you like it. Okay, so there are limitations to this one compared with the calibrated mic. Each microphone on the phones are slightly different, and you may not get the resolution and dynamic range that you have, but it is free, so it's something which most of you guys can do to get it done immediately. And hope you've enjoyed the video, and support me by using my affiliate links below. All right, bye.